Alright, we're going to go ahead and use our new expandable foam and seal up some of these voids and crevices. I'm going to start down below here, underneath where they put the cement in to hold the sill, and I'm going to work it down here a little bit between where our old sill place is and the new one. So let's just squirt some of that in there. I've shook it up and everything like they said. Okay. And it works. I said I've never worked this before, but it's working like great stuff. It's an expandable foam. But they're right, it does not get that quick expansion like the great stuff. And I'm basically just staying under the sill. Oh, I like this. I like this, all right. And then we'll just fill this void here. And see, I'm not too worried about putting this in here. With great stuff, it has an expansion that won't stop. But what they were saying about this is that it expands to fill the cavity and stops. So we're just going to take them at their word. Most of those men and women that I deal with at Depot really seem to know what they're talking about. So I'll just stop right there for now. And let me get up on the ladder, because what I've done is I've taken the top screws out of this so that I can roll that window out and fill the voids around there, and I'm going to fill some of those voids caused by the carpenter ants. Let me take the camera here a second and show you where I'm going to fill in up here. But what we need to do is fill this void top here, up there, and then where the other thing is. Now this is the side with the big void from before, so we will really saturate this in here. And that way, once it's in and expanded, our window will be in and secure. I'm just going to shoot this outside a little bit more. Just to be on the safe side here. Because what it says is you can mold this by your fingers and what have you. It's water. It's water soluble, but the excess, like great stuff, once it dries, can be trimmed off. Well, good deal. Our non-expandable foam is coming into the inside, so that tells me that it's working and working very well. And luckily, like we said, it's a water washable type of product. So what I'm going to do first is take and put my screw back in and secure my top. And we'll do that this side first. Whoops. Okay, snugged itself in there. And then we'll do the same over here. Holding the window in. Now this is the caulk that was provided by the window manufacturer for doing the rest of the installation. Now before, I've always used caulk in squeeze tubes, but they did not provide it to me that way, and I just wanted to show you what we do about using a caulking gun and a tube. It's just as simple. It's just a different form. It's the older form. I kind of like the control a little better of the squeeze tubes, but either way is going to work fine. Again, we take our knife and we make our cut so that we have an opening. And I'm going to make that just a little bit bigger. Alright. And then I'm going to bevel that a little bit, even though I got the top shoe as straight, because a nice shoe to help put the caulking in. I need this pointed just a little bit more, because I need to get into some of these little voids in here, so I want to make sure that I get in there. Now these tubes of caulk have a seal that you can't see that's inside. And the caulking guns like this that we've gotten, well, orange for Home Depot, have a rod on it like this. And what you do to break the seal inside is insert that rod in there, give it a little twist, and you can tell it's broken because I have fresh caulk on the end of this. You then take the little rod, excuse me, and put it back in place. And then the caulking gun, you push down on the trigger and you pull back the plunger, and then you insert the tube in there, push the plunger in until it stops. Okay? And then you slowly, oh, it comes out right away out of this one. But you want to be able to sort of feed that nozzle. The other nice thing about a tube like this versus the squeeze tube is that you can rotate that nozzle just by using your fingers. So if we're going down here, it might be that way, but if we go across there, we want to move the rod and do it this way. So it gives you a little more flexibility, or a little different flexibility, let's say. Well, let's start up here in this corner. We've got some of our our expandable foam there. And let's squirt this caulk in here. Now I'm just kind of bunching because I want that caulk to go in that void. So I'm really kind of putting excess in there. So because I want it to drive down into that hole to help fill and back up to that expandable foam we put in from the other side. I just don't want a surface bead here. I want it to be in there. So I'm really kind of just inching along here. And you can see how it just kind of comes out the top of that thing when it gets full. But that way I know the caulk is going into our groove and going in, penetrating pretty deep. There's more of an opening here, so. Oops, right into my window sash. Ah, you can see our expandable foam behind there, so I think the two of them are going to marry here, and that will be wonderful. That will do that. I'm going to have to go back and tell the guys and gals in the paint department how much I like that expandable foam. The great stuff is wonderful for plumbing or voids outside where you really need to fill big cracks. But this stuff, where you don't want to put pressure on that window frame, is just something I like. Now I'm going to have to turn my caulk gun over and start this way to come up to get that void filled. There, I can see it better there. Quite a big. Okay, now I'm not even going to work that until it sets a little bit. I'm going to come over here on this side and just repeat the same process coming down.